Muttering and puttering. We're back. We're doing our makeup. It's a Tuesday. We are muttering, we are puttering, and we are getting ready for a nice day. It is another gorgeous day in Seattle. The sun is out, the snow capped mountains are popping, the cherry blossoms are blossoming. And what do I have on the docket for today? I am going to be meeting with a new client. I'm going to be checking in with the members in my membership, Magnetics Love School. And I'm going to be going for a long, sunny hot girl walk. I am going to be taking care of some admin. And then I think I'm going to be practicing / learning how to DJ, which is one of the things I'm working on right now. I am fully still in the practicing stage. I'm also still getting used to like talking while I do my makeup, so my thought process gets a little scattered. But yeah, that's what I'm up to today. And I am also starting to prep for a trip next week to New Orleans. I got a one-way ticket. I honestly love getting a one-way ticket and then just going back whenever I want to. Sometimes you have to pay a little extra, but I like the freedom. And it, sometimes I want to go somewhere else on my way home. I just like the spontaneity. So I'm potentially going to pop over to Austin, Texas after New Orleans and, do a little line dancing, do a little networking, meet with a couple potential clients, and, have some brisket, a rare occurrence for me since I don't really eat that much meat, but when in Texas, eat some brisket, So something I was thinking about as I was like, okay, it's time to mutter and putter. What do I want to talk about beyond, the usual muttering about like what I'm doing today and like just kind of stream of consciousness thoughts. And I was thinking about how I'm going to New Orleans, and I go to New Orleans still fairly often. If you don't know, I lived in New Orleans for about 7 years prior to Seattle, and I still have a handful of really good friends that live there. I still feel just very connected to the place, and I love going there, and I'm really happy that it is part of my lifestyle is going to New Orleans. And I have this term I developed with myself of like hubs, because there was a certain point when I a number of years ago where I was like really enamored with the concept of being a digital nomad and or just going wherever I wanted, not necessarily having one fixed home base. Where did I put my tower? Dang. Oh, there it is. So I tried that for a bit, and it didn't really work for me. I think as I grew older, as seems to be a theme of my mutter and putters, I just wanted to feel more grounded. I found it difficult to feel grounded, to really like be building something or kind of building community and like investing in a foundation that could then support me in my lifestyle when I was just moving around all the time. And I still find that when I like travel and stuff. Now I have hubs, which I'll explain in a second, but I call it like when I'm home, I'm like in the studio, and when I'm traveling, I'm on tour. So I usually there's always a good reason to go somewhere and like make it a work trip, and that maybe I'll offer a couple in person private sessions in the city or the place that I'm going to. I'll usually do a photo shoot and shoot some content. I'll usually do some networking or like a few podcast appearances, things like that. So pretty much anything can be a work trip, which is dope. Um, so I call it or think of it as like being on tour. And when I'm doing that, I am like doing more outreach versus sitting down at my computer and like really progressing on projects. It's just like a different nature of work where like it's more about getting inspired and meeting up with people and being out and about and doing press and shooting content and whatnot. So it's just like a different mode, a different nature of work. And what I've been accumulating and kind of iterating and tinkering with the last handful of years is like really nurturing multiple hubs of like, I live in Seattle, but I know for sure at this point that I need to GTFO in the winter because I will get seasonal depression. So I'll go to DC, where I grew up. I'll go to New Orleans, where like I still have a life that I nurture. I still have a community. I like go regularly enough that there's some like kind of continuity in my life there. It's just a looser or kind of, yeah, like a looser timeline. Um, and I do that also with LA. And Ben and I are going to be going to Miami for a couple months next winter. So I'm still kind of just accumulating these hubs. And when I say hubs, it's like the beauty is going somewhat frequently. Like doesn't, it can be whatever pace, whatever cadence, doesn't really matter. But like a hub is where I'm gonna be back again. I like am nurturing friendships. I see the friends in the place whenever I go. I like have the things that I do in that place. It's like part of my lifestyle and like a greater meta sense. Um, and then my home base is Seattle, which I also love. And that also is really nice because then I have friends from those places, from the hubs and elsewhere, come visit here. And I have a lot of friends who live in different places or elsewhere. So it's a nice way to nurture and prioritize those relationships. All right, what do we got? Eyebrows, mascara. You're gonna see if you watch my mutters and putters, like I just do my makeup fairly differently. Well, somewhat differently on different days, depending on my mood. And today I think we're feeling a little bit more glam vibes. My eyelash curler is in the other room because I am cleaning it. And that's it. So we're not going to use it. This part requires focus. So anyway, that's the hub design, is like having a place that you live and having multiple locales that you frequent as part of your lifestyle. And you feel grounded when you're there because you're nurturing you're nurturing a life there as well. It's just on a looser timeline or kind of rhythm. And that has been working really well for me the last handful of years. Hey. So I'm pretty stoked about that. And I'm stoked to go to New Orleans, such a magical place. I'm going for my friend's wedding and I'm going back in September for another wedding. Um, so that's going to be wonderful. Oh, I've hit my quota, like 10 minutes. Okay. Let me quickly finish the look and then we will hop off. So, yeah, anyway, do you relate to the hubs? What are your hubs? What's your, because you also got to consider with the hubs, like which places complement each other. So, like Seattle, for example, is pretty gorgeous all the time except for the fucking winter. So it's good for me to have complementary hub locales that are good in the winter, like LA or New Orleans. And even DC is it's sunny. It doesn't get that cold most of the time. Or Miami. But those places tend to be really, really hot in the summer, and Seattle's pretty perfect. So seasonally, there's complementation, and that's part of the hub strategy. So yeah, I'm curious. I also like there are definitely some places internationally that I like have gone to repeatedly that, are kind of in the solar system of hubs a little further out in the orbit, but like, still in the orbit. So I'm excited to see how this unfolds over my lifetime. And that's it for today. Yeah, I'll do a little rose water, style my hair. And I have an hour and a half before I meet my client. So I think I'm going to do some more puttering off camera, maybe a little spring cleaning and a little admin. All right. I will see you next time. Thank you for watching.